All right, I'm so excited today to have with me Kathy and Jack. Kathy and Jack are from New Zealand, and I have been so honored to get to work with someone so far away and get to listen to their lovely accents, which you'll get to hear in a minute. But I asked them if they would come and hang out with us for just a little bit and tell us about the journey they've been on over the last few months in building their business. So thanks for being here, ladies.
Thank you.
All right. So if you would just kind of reflect for me on where you were mentally and energetically when you began to work with me.
I think that we were really in a bit of a stalemate. We weren't making any money in our business, and we had grand dreams, but those dreams were very much narrow focused, if you like a one train vision. Would you agree, Jack? Would that be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So pretty one set track, going toward it, but feeling a little burnout and discouraged in it.
Yes, because it wasn't making us any money.
Okay. Very good.
And we felt like we were going around in circles a lot, keep going away from something, coming back to it, and just continuing to replay
Yeah,
things.
kind of turning through over and over again. Couldn't really figure out a different direction to go or what else to do differently. Yeah. That happens a lot. It can be really exhausting. So tell me, now that you've gone through all these weeks of training and work and the things that you've been doing, where are you now mentally and energetically? How's it different?
What I really like is that we're not just in that narrow track anymore, that it's actually expanded, and we can see some real opportunities for growth and also for profit. We haven't yet put any of these new ideas into practice. They do take a little bit of time in our business to execute, but I think that it's very much, very much a we have a very much wider view of where we can go than before we started working with you.
Okay. So before you felt like you were kind of entrenched in a tunnel, and now you've got a much grander view and you see new opportunities and possibilities for that path to profitability. Awesome.
Exactly.
I love that. You have anything you want to add to that, Jack?
Nope, that's pretty much what it is.
Awesome. Okay. So what do you think over the course of this time has shifted the most for you in your thinking and your actions?
That's an interesting question.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's hard to know. I think the shift has been around that broadening of ideas, just bringing in new ways of doing things, and being open to that. So if you talk about shift of thinking, it's about being open. We always said we wanted to do things differently from other businesses like us, and yet I'm not sure that we really were. So it's nice to have that open view now, that open way of thinking.
I love that, a shift to more open thinking and not so closed, because that closure was what was keeping you in those ruts and that tunnel and inhibiting your expansion. So in ways it was keeping you contracted. So that's now you're kind of more expanded, seeing a bigger view.
Yes.
Excellent. I love it. Have any other thoughts with that, Jack?
I think probably we probably do a little bit more reflection now as well. So we will go back when we're at a certain point. We might go back and say, okay, what is our purpose here, and is what we're doing still relevant to that? So we're open to doing that as well. So looking at not just doing processes, but looking at whether we're still on track for what we originally intended. That's our original view. Are we still doing what we wanted to do? Are we still on track to achieve the purpose of what we've set in motion? So reflecting back on the purpose is something I think that we have actually put into our processes.
Love
And
that.
also, if I can build on that, also
Yes.
reflecting back on our purpose, but what the open thinking has done is helped us realize that we can do these other things and still meet our purpose.
Mhm.
Whereas before we thought that it was just we had to do this, this, and this to meet our purpose, and that's not it's not
Yeah.
the case. That's not the case.
Oh, that is awesome to think about being able to stay in alignment with
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
purpose and what your why is, why you're doing what you're doing, and feel aligned with it as you expand, that it doesn't have to be in one certain way, but there's so many other ways that you can approach it. That sounds very freeing.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So overall then, these having this expansion and opening up your mind and being more receiving of other potential opportunities and how you can grow and expand your business, how has that affected your results and your engagement in what you're doing in your business or in your life?
In terms of results, because our business has got a really, really long lead in time before we get to sales, we don't know what those results will be. And saying that, I'm really, really positive that our results will be phenomenal. Like I really do think that. Until we get there, I can't say for a fact what it will be, but just knowing that those results are now possible is huge. Yeah. And sorry, what was the other part of the question?
Just how has it affected your engagement, knowing that you have these possibilities for the results?
Yeah. So in terms of engagement, I think that it's really freed us up. And in fact, it wasn't until I'm going to just put Jack under the bus a little bit here. It wasn't until we started doing this and we started working with you and started thinking about these opportunities that we really talked about brainstorming what we could do. And what is really interesting in terms of how Jack brainstorms, sorry, Jack, if we're doing this here, is that she will throw out these craziest ideas just so that we can get the ball rolling and so that she can get those out of her system before anything else happens. And I think that's incredibly freeing. And it's also built the engagement that we have with each other as well. And we would not have done that. I don't think we would have done that before.
That's beautiful. I love hearing that. And I love that, Jack's crazy ideas, they do spark creativity and they spark that openness and that what else can we think about? So I really love that you said that, that those crazy ideas are a benefit.
Well, they are, they have the function for me is that I can say something ridiculous and knowing it's going to be rejected. And that frees me up to have other ideas that aren't quite as extreme, that may or may not be rejected as ideas, but they still can platform onto other things. So,
Right.
I mean, my first brainstorming idea might be, let's see how quickly we can get a woman on the moon kind of thing. And I mean, clearly that is going to be rejected as an idea. But it makes me think, okay, that's been rejected. That's out of the way. Now I can actually be a little bit more serious. Yeah.
Love it. And I love that it's caused you to have a little bit more interplay with that and have more dialogue than you have had in the past because, you were really, again, you were entrenched in this is how we got to go. And you both had your roles you were playing and you kind of tried to stay out of each other's lane too much. But what I'm hearing now and have been seeing is a lot more working together, collaboration, and coming to a greater place with the two of you working together.
Yeah, I think it's been good.
Awesome.
Really good. Yeah.
Love it. So what are you most proud of?
I think, well, for me, I am most proud of the building of the business relationship that we have. And I think that there has been a definite opening in that. And we don't have any staff yet. So there's just the two of us. And I think that, in my opinion, we're moving more into a much more of a collaborative arrangement, and that's what we wanted right from the start, but that's given our history, because we are sisters, that isn't necessarily how history is played out. So I'm really proud of how we have moved more into that collaborative lane. And again, I don't think that I think we'd still be sitting on two different sides of the fence and thinking that we were collaborating and not really understanding what that meant. So I think that's happened. I mean, I don't know if Jack thinks the same thing, but I do think that there's definitely a strong movement towards that. So I'm really proud of that.
Beautiful. And what do you think, Jack?
Yeah, I agree.
You do agree? Oh,
I think the ability to shift out of old sisterly roles, older sister, younger sister, all that baggage type stuff, into business partners, and feeling that even though we might bring different skills to the table, those skills can work together, and that we can have this new relationship in so many different arenas as well. Yeah.
yeah, that is great. And I love how you described that really it's shifting your identity from sisters to business partners in this part of your life and in this aspect, and how that's allowed you both to become more collaborative with each other and work in ways that are much more conducive for moving your business forward than the patterns you probably had as sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, that's just normal with siblings. It's hard to develop that sort of thing, but it's been really fun for me to watch, and very inspiring for me to watch, seeing you two begin to move together and collaborate when before you were kind of in parallel. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. That really is something to be proud of. And I hope that that's really going to serve you both well in your life as sisters as well as business partners going forward, because of that shift.
Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And so what's next?
What's next? I would say I feel much more, so this isn't quite answering the question, but I feel much more grounded and much more certain that there is a next, if we can put it like that.
Absolutely. It makes complete sense. And it does answer the question, because the what's next is unfolding and you feel ready and equipped to receive and find and discover it.
Yes.
Awesome. Anything additional on that for you, Jack?
No, basically relates to the same thing. Broadening, I guess, is
Broadening.
yeah. So being able to, it's very exciting to think that there are different things that we can do without actually ruling other things out. So we can still do our original plan and do more. So that's very exciting to see that.
Right. So overall, for you, if I were going to sum up what's happened for you both in this whole thing, I think it really began in the beginning when you said, everything just opened up and expanded. And so the expansion is the key word here, that it's expanded your relationship, it's expanded your business, it's expanded your thinking, it's expanded your view of opportunities. Lots of expansion. I love it. That's so cool. I never know what's going to come out of these things, but that was awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's been delightful to work with you. Thanks for sharing this time to encourage others and inspire others with the journey that you've had. And I just wish you the very best, and just so excited that you're here today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you,
Thank
Judy.
you.
Yeah.